Nord Stream 2 is a gas pipeline being built from Russia to Germany through the Baltic Sea. And over 1,000 kilometers long, it will be capable of transferring 55 billion cubic meters of gas per year. Now, that's enough to supply 30 million households. Igor Zhdanov reports now on how Europe has defied the US to get affordable Russian fuel.
Washington has weaponized sanctions. It's official. Along with spending on nukes, the army and cyber ops, sanctions are in the US 2020 military budget. Its target and mission for the year, the elimination of one of Russia's gas arteries into Europe, currently under construction.
The United States commends all our European partners who've taken a strong stand against Nord Stream 2, and we commend others to do the same.
Germany is totally controlled by Russia because they will be getting from 60 to 70% of their energy from Russia and a new pipeline.
This pipeline, if completed, would make Europe even more dependent on Russian energy.
We don't want Europe's energy supplies to be dependent on Vladimir Putin.
To be fair, Washington has been backed into a corner here. It's been huffing and puffing over the project for years, dishing out threats and blackmail, but to no avail. The threat of sanctions has seen key European contractor Allseas halt its operations. Nevertheless, in an admittedly rare act of disobedience to the US, Europe has been on Russia's side, determined to have the pipeline built.
As a matter of principle, the EU opposes the imposition of sanctions against EU companies conducting legitimate business.
The federal government is against extraterritorial sanctions. We don't approve of this practice. We oppose especially extraterritorial sanctions that hit German and European companies.
Washington has decided that even the closest NATO allies don't deserve mercy if the US geopolitical and commercial ambitions are at stake.
Why? Well, it's easy. Follow the money. Russia doesn't ask much for its gas, and Nord Stream 2 will be Europe's cheapest way of getting the blue fuel. And that's in stark contrast to the alternative Washington is trying to force feed on its treasured allies across the Atlantic, shale gas. Because really, there's only one economy that has to be strong, Uncle Sam's, even at the expense of its NATO partners. And the Made in America stamp may be fancy, but the markup for the Freedom brand makes the whole affair outright economically stupid for the EU. Also, Washington's been trying to convince Brussels that tightening its belt and enduring a bit extra economic stress is well worth it, because it's all for a good cause. Supporting another European friend in need, Ukraine, which had been left out of the pipeline deal.
We'll keep working together to stop the Nord Stream 2 project that undermines Ukraine's economic and strategic security. We do not want our European friends to fall prey to the kind of political and economic manipulation Russia has attempted in Ukraine since it cast off its Soviet shackles.
It would create another tool for the Kremlin to use Russia's energy resources to divide Europe and undermine and destabilize Ukraine.
It was almost like Russia listened, because hours before sanctions hit Nord Stream 2 construction, Moscow and Kiev shook hands on a gas transit deal. So Europe all out wins from the pipeline, both economically and geopolitically, seeing Russia and Ukraine finally touch base again. And this statement by the US envoy to Germany hasn't aged well at all.
Currently, there is a lot of talk in Germany about doing more for Europe, and we believe that when it comes to Nord Stream 2, we have taken an extremely pro-European position.
Washington's crocodile tears are not fooling anyone anymore, trying to maintain a compassionate face, pretending it's acting in the best of intentions, only to have itself exposed as a super bully, rolling out one creative plot after the other of forcing its will on friend and foe alike.